Hey there, are you a fan of PDR tools? If so, you won't want to miss this Anson PDR annual open house on Saturday, May 6th in Burleson, Texas. This is your chance to check out their amazing state-of-the-art PDR tool facility and see the latest and greatest tools on the market, including the Tequila line, A1 tools, Dent Craft, PDR Finesse, Stucky tools, Limit Dent lights, and more. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, this event has something for everyone. You'll have the opportunity to meet like-minded individuals, network, and learn from each other. Plus, there'll be plenty of fun and excitement to be had. Don't miss out on this amazing event. Make sure to mark your calendar for Saturday, May 6th, and head on over to Anson's PDR Open House. You won't regret it. All right. What's going on, Joe? How you doing, man? What is going on? Crack-a-lacking, all that good stuff, dude. How is
Hey,
your...
Mike. Doing good, man. How about you?
Good.
Good.
I'm just excited, dude. That's, you and I talk almost every day. I'm super excited about working on my business. I just want to, I don't think we made it clear to our listeners or viewers who watch. Obviously, we're recording this one because this is what sometimes we do deep dives, right? And a lot of people don't realize that you and I, we talk out like what we're going through, like what we're doing.
Yes.
We're not crying on each other's shoulders. We're talking out our solutions, and this is going to be one of those episodes where we are dissecting what we're doing, how we're progressing, and for the most part, we've been progressing like crazy in showing the public of how we're doing it, dude. Right, and how our progress is going. So, I raised my prices to $195 publicly.
Yep.
I'm getting it.
Yep.
All day long. Thank you, Joe, because you said I'm thinking about 195. Done, dude. Like, let's do it, dude. So, anyways, thanks, man. But this is what this podcast is about. So if you're new and you want to up your game in the paintless dent repair business aspect, videos, the pricing, all that stuff, this is what we do. Joe and I, we kind of think about solutions and tonight's about one of those type of topics, isn't it? What are we talking about tonight, Joe? What are we deep diving on?
Yes, sir, Mike. That's what this show is about. That's what this episode's about. But that's, I think, the core of this show is since we've been having these discussions since I think it was like 2019. We present problems and struggles even that we're going through with our PDR services, and but it's with the intent to solve the problem, to fix it, and to find systems as well as solutions, but something to keep, I feel like we're like explorers, man, and we're creating a little roadmap, out there into uncharted territory. That's what PDR kind of still is to me, because we're able to do so much more now that we're charging accordingly, according to the damage, using the assessment guide. And I don't know. Basically, this episode is about that. I experienced a pretty good February, man. I'm proud to say that I have some wins under my belt from February, and it's because I've been paying really close attention to my average ticket price. And I've touched on this a little bit in the past on previous episodes, but I'm really getting granular about it now. So we'll be discussing that and just the number crunching.
I can pull that up too if you want. Tell you when we're ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course, man. Of course, if
So
you have it on your,
you can kind of, I'll just get it ready while you think. So just get it popped up here. But yeah, I'm not gonna put it up now. But why? Oops. That was a video. That was a video you sent me. We might talk about that too, about the new Paul Corden and Tim Corden's video.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was awesome video that those guys just put up. I mean, it's like a prime time commercial, man, TV commercial.
Yeah, looked like a Super Bowl commercial, dude.
Yeah, for dentshop.com.
Yeah.
So kudos to those guys.
Yeah, we'll brief on that. We'll talk on that, and that's good, man. So you've had a good week. I've had a pretty good month.
Good, man.
So let's go. So I want to reiterate about, like, we did, like, I don't know how many podcasts ago. Maybe it was probably 4 podcasts ago, something like that, 3 or 4. And we were talking about average ticket pricing, right? You asked me, like, point blank, what do you think your average ticket price was? And I think I said it was just under $300 or something. I don't know. Remember, 303 something. Like, I can't remember, 275 to 350, somewhere around there.
Right.
We're not gonna. I can't pull up the exact numbers now, but I'm gonna tell you it's close to the $500 range now, dude. I mean, I know that for a fact.
Yes.
Now, for the mobile part, okay. So,
Yeah.
anyways, we're gonna talk about what you have some numbers here too as well. We're gonna show that in a bit. What made you pay attention to your average ticket price? I know most people do, and they say they do, but I don't think they watch it as close as what you've been doing now. So, what's your reason for that? Hey there, PDR business owners and social media enthusiasts. We have some exciting news to share with you. The Mega Media Event 6.0 is coming to sunny San Diego on June 1st through the 2nd, followed by a Dent Tech Meetup on June 3rd, all hosted at the state-of-the-art Dent Time facility. Get ready to revolutionize your business and social media presence. Our CapCut workshop will guide you through the entire process of storytelling, editing, and producing captivating and informative videos that will grab the attention of your audience and elevate your social media game like never before. With our deep dive estimate process, you'll learn to maximize your earnings by communicating with your clients confidently and speaking the language of insurance adjusters. That's not all. The experts from Dent Ops will show you how to turn those PDR estimates into the language insurance adjusters understand, so you can make even more money. Our streamlined social media calendar packed with ideas and templates will keep you organized, focused, and never run out of content. Say goodbye to confusion and hello to a clear roadmap for your social media success. And guess what? The world-renowned David Ricketts will be joining us to capture stunning professional photographs that will take your social media profiles and business marketing to the next level. David's work showcases every detail and nuance. He'll be available to shoot all your headshots for all your social media profiles, including LinkedIn. Plus, our team will be on hand to edit these photos to work for your business marketing. With David's expertise and eye for detail, you'll come away with breathtaking photos that truly capture your personality and brand. Whether you're looking to update your LinkedIn profile, refresh your Instagram feed, or just want professional photos for your website or marketing materials, we've got you covered. But wait, there's more. We're thrilled to announce the awesome folks from Stanliner Tools that will be joining us for the Mega Media Event 6.0. They'll be giving a demonstration of their latest tools and techniques that are sure to take your PDR skills to the next level. You won't want to miss this incredible opportunity to learn from the best and get hands-on experience with cutting-edge tools that will transform your work. So what are you waiting for? Register now for the Mega Media Event 6.0 and get ready to level up your game like never before. This is your chance to work with the best in the business and transform your PDR business and social media presence. We can't wait to see you there.
Okay, I can answer that question. And real quick though, going back to when you disclosed your average ticket cost, I did think that sounded a little low from what I experienced at your shop and seeing the kind of larger repairs that you guys are able to expedite there and the complexity of them. And I saw the numbers you got too. So it did sound a little bit low. But you did specify that you were just going by, like, I think some of the mobile jobs that your guys were doing, and based on the credit card, like through your Square or something like that, the credit card processes, like those jobs, so it wasn't the whole picture that you were showing.
It wasn't. I wasn't prepared to do it tonight, but we will do another collaboration. I think we're going to do it. I don't know, maybe before summer, right? And kind
Yeah,
of project where we're going with that. Kind of
yeah,
like we'll both have our graphs and things like that.
yeah.
I
And I have to apologize. I kind of put you on the spot on that one, so I cut you off guard.
No, I'm not worried about that. This isn't about who's making the most money. And I want to say this again too, Joe. I mean, listen, I don't want anybody out there to get the wrong impression that we or anyone else was bragging about how much money we're making or you're not making. That's not the point of this podcast here, ladies and gentlemen. I think the whole point of this, especially this episode, is to bring awareness to, are you charging too low because you don't understand? You may be not aware that you're not charging enough for what you can possibly get. That's all I'm that's the
Yeah.
awareness. It's not about, hey, we make more money than you, or you make more money than us, or that's not the definitely not the impression we're trying to give you guys. It's just trying to bring awareness. That's the simple explanation for that. So
Thank you for that disclaimer, Myke, because you're right. It's not about bragging. It's not. I mean, it's really my no, my total for February is really nothing to brag about because I know plenty of other PDR, service providers that do a lot higher gross than I do, but I don't work nearly as much as they do either. So I try to get. We're trying to solve problems once again here. And uh, a lot of the things that Myke, you and I talk about on this podcast since the beginning when I first joined you, and I think you were doing it already before me, was just talking about our struggles and what we struggle with, the challenges, stuff that was kind of hard to wrap our heads around, and figuring it out. Finding a solution to it, and I hope that others can get value from this and not perceive it as we're just bragging. Um, but that being said, you had asked me a question a minute ago, why I started paying so much, so such close attention to the average ticket price. And well, it all started when, I've been using the price guide for a long time since 2015, when I met Paul at MTE at an advanced seminar. And I, at the time, for years, I mainly made my living doing wholesale work for dealership accounts, and I would use the price guide successfully with retail referrals that I would get. And I noticed that I was able to do bigger, more complex damage, stuff that I never even dreamed of fixing with PDR. So two things were happening is, these things kind of paralleled. And that was the price guide was allowing me to get higher level pricing and thus be more incentivized to take the time to really do intricate repairs. At the same time, technology in our industry was also starting to rise, including with the Black Plague tabs. Remember they started with those black tabs, the big
look like
block,
boats. They look like
yeah,
boats.
like
Yeah.
yeah, like canoes,
Yeah.
and then the gray tabs, the smooth tabs that they got, and that was before the green tabs came out. But and then when those came out, man, he made them so reinforced and so stout. We were just getting monster pulls with them, and of course technique also evolved because not only did Keith, come out with those awesome tabs, you were showing videos of how you use the tabs, and that freely online and stuff, and so everything was just all of a sudden just rising up, and so like parallel to using the price guide. So my point is, I'm able to do higher quality work and provide higher quality service when I'm being incentivized to do so, and using the price guide just fits very well with that, and
Are you
using
getting
it
more
to,
excited? Sorry, Joe, but I have to say this real quick before you hold your thought,
yeah,
please. But
sure,
are you
no, go
getting
ahead.
more? Are you getting more excited about? What would you say you're more excited about at this point in your career? Are you more excited about you finally able to charge what you not even thought you could charge, but charge beyond what you thought you could charge? Are you more excited about that, about the value you offer to your clients, and then at the same time that your clients actually see the value in you? I mean, like, what? I want you to
Yeah.
hold that thought because that is a question, but it sounds like to me, and I'm the same way. I can say that to myself, but it sounds like to me that you. Well, I'll let you answer it. Are you more excited about the your work more, or are you excited about the how it's working for you?
All of the above, quite frankly, to be perfectly honest. I know the politically correct answer is to say, um, I'm excited about the work that I get to do really well. I am. I'm one of those nerds who I love the craft, but I love the craft better when I'm getting paid well enough to do it, and when I feel valued and when I can, sustain the process, repeatedly, and you know, feed and shelter my family and take care of my people. But it's not just about the money. It's about I think, like I said, feeling valued by, and being able to solve like higher level problems. The damage that we're fixing, you and I, and lots of people in our industry now, because of these resources that I described earlier, are we're able to solve problems that have a higher sense of urgency from consumers. The owners of cars that, how many people will live with a little door ding, you know, but when they get that big kick in a quarter panel or wherever on their door, we can fix that now, and to factory result.
That's right. Yeah, mm, the reason why I'm thinking about my next thing. All these things go through my mind. Our conversations that we have. We're going to talk about your average ticket, and I want to talk about too, as well as you're talking about that. But the formula of how you get to that average ticket to get to be that higher average ticket. You know what I mean? Like, you're I don't I don't think there's a perfect sales way to talk to people. Like, well, I think there's a formula, but I don't think it has to be genuine with every person that you 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 deal with, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of things that go into this. You and I have been trying to working on this on our own, right? We're not getting any coaching. We're not getting any help from anybody else. I don't read books. I listen to books here and there, but I don't get any advice for that. Everything I do is just straight freaking experience, and freaking trial and error. Let's try this A/B testing. Text
Yes.
communication, script communication, all that crap, dude. So, anyways, go ahead, Joe. I don't even know if I made sense right there.
No, you absolutely did. You absolutely did, because I do read books, and I'll listen to audiobooks too, and we've shared some of that on the show in previous episodes, and we've also shared a heck of a lot of both of our trial and error, and you're a scientist about that, Myke. You test things, you test theories, you test processes, and until and when you find the weak spot, and you reveal a weakness in there, you'll throw it out. You'll try another thing, and until it sticks, right? I mean, how
Yeah.
long have we been doing this? But like you, I got to hand it to you, because you've done that since early days. Like you were the first guy on YouTube, as far as I'm concerned. And it took me a lot of, and I've shared this also in previous episodes, of a lot of complacency over the years. You get blinded by the golden handcuffs. Like when I was working with the mostly wholesale, I was paying attention mostly to my daily average. We're talking about per ticket average now, but I was paying attention to what, like a lot of us have done, and I think it's a mistake. I used to think, okay, I got to make X amount of dollars per day, right? And what was happening was, first of all, I was working my fingers to the bone, man, just doing high volume, high volume. But I feel like when you're paying attention just to the amount, your daily average, well, what was
You
happening with
lose
me
sight,
is
sight of the big goal. Then you're saying,
I was exactly, I was more prone to making concessions to, quote unquote, get the job, right? So I wasn't looking at the job in front of me the way I really should have been, which was assessing the damage properly for all of its difficulty, and properly mapping out a strategy to repair that damage to a factory spec condition, which is why people call me, right? I can't
Mhm.
imagine anybody wanting it any differently. I know there's improvement repairs, and we've talked about that, but to me, a dent, if somebody wants a dent fixed, it should be fixed, right? And I can offer that because I'm not paying attention to, oh, I got to make this much money every day. I'm rather looking at the Bible. I'm
Yeah.
looking at
PDR
our
Bible.
assessment
Yeah.
guide or price
Yeah.
guide, whatever you want
Uh-huh.
to call it. I call it an assessment guide because I truly use it to check all the boxes of how difficult this repair is. It's okay, X size, a number of inches. I have, okay, that box is checked. It's pretty deep, so we're going to check that box. It's on a body line. It's on an edge. It's obstructed. We're going to need a glue pull assist on this one. I can get access, but we're going to help it with the glue. And all these things attached allow me to do my best quality work, which I do love to do. And guess what? The end result is really good. So instead of looking at the average, my daily average, paying attention to the average ticket, instead keeps me at a level of quality of not only work but service, and it keeps me incentivized to keep moving it forward. And
Yeah.
that's what this is all about. And
Yeah.
now I'm really crunching the numbers to pay attention where these wins are coming from, so I can repeat it, this month.
All right. Let me, since you like, I'm going to set it up. So you had a great month this month, right? We'll get to the
Relatively,
details.
yes.
Yeah.
It,
Let me ask you, and you said it was probably one of your best like turnouts for average tickets for a month. I
yeah.
mean, it's
Yes,
um
it was.
before we get to that, how do you like you did a lot of jobs that were over $2,000 and like in the minimum, like you showed me your report, which we're going to show. There was nothing under like what, $400 or $600, whatever it was, dude. There was
Yeah,
not one job.
my lowest ticket was 320. Was $320.
Okay, $320. Okay, let me see if I can pull that up for you, Joe. We're gonna pull it up. Heck with it. There it is. Okay, hold on.
Again, my gross was not anything spectacular compared to most PDR guys. I hear the numbers thrown around out there, and like 30 grand a month and up is not uncommon. But when
What
I
the
ask
heck
those
is?
guys, like what they're doing, I can resend it to you, Mike.
No, I can
You know,
see. I just had it. Okay, now I got it. Now it's a PDF file. Now, okay. So let me pull it up here. So can you see that, Joe?
yeah, I can see it.
Okay,
That's
so I can
pretty
only
cool.
pull up part of it. Okay,
That's
so
okay.
walk me through this here just a little bit so we can set this up here.
Yeah, so we'll start if you want to scroll all the way to the left, I can explain, or to the right, then I guess the other, there you go. That's good. So we start out with the number of invoices. That was only a total of 19 invoices for the month of February,
Mm-hmm.
probably a low amount compared to most, right? The next column is the invoice amount. And so each invoice has a number attached. Like that first one says $400. The next one is $1,147.88. And then and so forth. The third column is the sum, the total. In there, I had to put that in there because in order for the spreadsheet to recognize the amount and then divide it by the first column, by the
Yeah,
number of tickets.
it adds it as it goes on, right?
Yes, it adds it as it goes along, and then it
Mm-hmm.
divides it. So like, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, it does.
So,
Yeah,
and then it creates the invoice average, which is the green column, and that's the money there. That's the okay. We're on track.
that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the fourth column is the client type, and you'll see the R, that first row, it says R and pod, right? So
Yeah.
what that represents to me, and I have a little index or a key at the bottom of the spreadsheet, but that R represents retail. That was a retail job, and then the POD is uh, payment on delivery. So that means I got paid for that job immediately after, which is what I want. Those are the
Yeah.
kind of jobs I want right there. And if I remember, okay, so then the last column is source, and I put on there that's where the lead came from, and that was that one. That was that 64 Carmen Gia that I sent you a video of. Do you remember that, Myke?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that you used to do PDR out of a Carmen Gia, so
That's right.
I
That's
took a
right.
little video of that, and that one was the referral. It was referred by another PDR tech. It was actually referred by Manny Lopez, which I got to call him up and thank him for that. He sent it my way. It was a classic car, repaint, a little ding on the driver's door, and my classic car price guide starts at $300 for the first inch and is $100 additional for each additional inch. So it was a 2-inch dent, and it was $400. But I'm keeping all this information. I'm trying to, and if anyone, if you or anyone who's listening can think of something I can add to it, information that would help me to make this once again a repeatable process, as Paul Corden calls it. I want to repeat this monthly. I think it's
How could you not? I mean, you're you're you had some pretty good dang tickets, dude. Um,
yeah, yeah, I did, and that's what I was going to get into next. Is that I'm using the guide more assertively than I ever have. Um, I'm trying to I'm trying to get rid of that head trash now, Myke,
yeah,
and
but
stop.
here's the deal, Joe. I mean, like I'm going to ask what these people are thinking. Yeah, yeah, Joe, you're using the price guide. How in the bleeping way are you using that price guide? I mean, let's let's give the goods here, dude. Okay, so we're talking. I have a different way of delivery. You have a different delivery way of your delivery and how you set these clients up. So give me a walkthrough, man. You arrive at the client's house. What do you do when are you telling them it's going to take a certain amount of time for you to do this? How do you approach that? You're going to go in there full armor on, everything ready to go, and give him the news, dude. How's that going to go? Walk me through that.
Okay, first of all, I'm not just blindly walking up to these estimates. Um, we are having a discussion either via text, but usually over the phone. But many of these conversions were made via text also, and but they all had to do. None of them were blind estimates. I they were all given a price range over the phone via text or phone call. So they were acclimated. The other thing that I have going for me is that I do have a pricing page on my website, and so after every correspondence, like whenever I send a text to them, in my signature has a link to my pricing page, and I unapologetically put on there in the signature dentevo.com/pricing. That just is what's going to show up on their end. Whether I'm saying what the price is, or whether I'm saying confirming the next day, hey, this is Joe from Dent Evo, or the day before, so we just a friendly reminder, we're going to be at your place tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. and blah blah blah, and it's going to say Dent Evo /pricing. So the pricing is always available to them, if they want to get confirmation. And I believe, I don't recommend this to everyone.
Let's do it.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's
Can you see
let,
it there on the menu?
let's go to where are we going here? That is pricing right here.
Yes, sir. So
That's just
mind
want to
you,
make sure.
I believe most people are looking at it on the phone, on their phone. So, but it's all there. Everything is there for them to see. They can see videos. It even talks a little bit about the larger damage, and if they want to go with insurance, I can work with their insurance. All that. The only the downfall of my pricing page is that some of the videos are outdated. Quite frankly, like that white one right there. That one goes back to 2019, so the price
This
was
one?
a little bit different. Yeah, but that hasn't deterred anyone as that I know of. So, but they keep getting bigger and bigger, and
Yeah.
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 So,
So, and can they click on this, or does that come up on a phone when they do that, or not?
well, my website is mostly optimized for phone. So when they click on it, this shows right up. It takes up the whole screen, that the price guide, and the wording is right underneath of it, and then it basically says in the caption, this is our Bible, or this is our guide, and it's our book, is what I put on there. This is our guide, our book, if you will. It's a little small, so I can't really read it
Oh,
there.
well, yeah, they'll be able to
Oh,
read
yeah.
once they if
Doing
they
PDR by the book is what produces the best possible results. So I make no apologies about it, and arguably, I probably lose some people who see that and they click off and they go to the next guy. But what this also does, because I am small time, I'm a one man operation, and it clears the table for the better opportunities for me. I feel like
That's cool. So you have a dedicated price. You're not afraid to put that on there, Joe. You're getting people who are prepared, who've done the research. I, that's one of the things we say, right? I mean, don't expect to try to get high end customers because you haven't done anything, though. If you haven't done anything and showed any consistency or social proof that your client that you charge that, um, yeah, the price guide's going to help you, but I don't think it's going to completely help you all the time. I think people have to like, wow, this guy a lot. You know what being consistent about is they see other customers like, wow, all these customers are coming to this guy and they're getting their dent taken care of and they're actually paying that price. So that is the going thing. And he's good. So I'm going to do that. I mean, who else does that? Bryce Kelly does that. Sal Contreras does that. I mean, you've got to document what type of repairs you're doing so you can actually sell this. This is just another tool to basically showing proof that you're doing what you're doing, right? And do you think it weeds out a lot of clients though? Do you think you
I
lose
think
some?
so. I think it does. I think
I
it
do too,
does.
in a good
When
way.
yeah, I think it weeds out a lot of tire kickers and price
You know
only
who, you know
shoppers.
who it weeds out? Joe, it weeds out people who didn't do the research. It weeds out people who are looking for the cheapest price. Weeds out all the above who don't value their own time.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think what happens too, man, is people, the same people who reach out to me, who reached out to me 3, 4 years ago, and thought I was too expensive. They went and used somebody else, and they realized it wasn't anything like what they saw on my website. So they find me again and they'll tell me these stories, And I think that's happening too, is like people just see that number and they do get a little bit of sticker shock, I think. And and less nowadays, because we've really informed the public, the consumers are in Southern California know that PDR can cost as much as body shop. And why do you think they know that, Myke? It's not because our competition. It's because of
No,
us, homie.
yeah,
We're the ones we've opened that door. We kicked the door down, man, and to
yeah. I
let
mean,
them know.
I look back at my old videos, man, like my old estimates. I used to sell videos to other people about estimates, about making hey, you need an estimate, and they'd have like little bullet points, and one of the bullet points were cheaper than a body shop,
I
right?
know. Yeah,
It's
I had my little
oh,
brochures.
oh
Yeah,
my gosh, dude.
fraction. It sounded. We were playing with words. We thought we sounded
Yeah.
professional because we're dummies.
Well, we weren't
Fraction of the
doing
body
dents.
shop.
We weren't doing big dents either. Like, or at
That's
least what we're
true.
doing. We were.
That's true.
I don't think any of our jobs Gosh, it cost. Oh, I don't remember. I'm not going to make up anything because I just don't
Yeah.
remember. But, anyways, I want you to finish your journey though. Let's paint the picture for these people because the whole point is that like the you can do it, Joe. They can do it. So let's start thinking about like the process here. So, yeah, walk me through your process.
Okay, so you had asked a few minutes ago about, so what is this? So how am I just showing up to the job and giving that price? No, there's quite a bit of acclimating that is done beforehand, including what they see on my website, which I offer transparently. It's like to me, quickly here, like when you go to a fine restaurant and they have the menu outside, including with the prices on some of the stuff they'll say like fair market value, for lobster, right?
That's what I'm
Right.
gonna do. Fair market
Yeah, fair
value,
market
dude.
value. You kind of already do with your price ranges. You put the cost range
Yeah.
on your postings, right? Whereas I'll typically just put the price. And as you saw on my website, that has its cost too, because, or some of the prices get outdated, and well, you got to go and change them, and that's going to be next on the agenda for the next quarter, is
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make new videos, new pricing videos for me.
The number one reason why I do it because I've been asked a few times since I've been putting pricing on there. It's like, well, on your Instagram, you showed that dent and it looked just like mine, and you said it was going to cost just that, and I saw that. I was like, dude, I was all right. I'm going to give a range, and I had to be similar, like similar
Yeah.
dents like this will range, and I put a pretty decent window too. But
Yeah.
anyways, nonetheless, so that's what
Yeah,
I
no,
do
you're going to
anyway.
get that, and I question whether that was really your customer, or somebody that just was too hung up on the price. Now, you and I are in very competitive markets. You possibly more than I, because you're down there in San Diego, and there's I mean, there's technician on every corner, practically, right? And most of them are going to be cheaper than you. I mean, I got that out here too, but a lot of these guys haven't caught up yet, and not just in the PDR skills. I mean, the work is pretty bad. Like, and I'm talking guys with like hundreds of 5-star reviews. You know, it's they're very
Well,
limited though, and they're limited because they're tying their hands
they
with
have
their low
500.
price.
They have like, see, I don't think that matters either. And we've already talked about this and probably touched base on that. Is that we just so what you have? Your competitor has 100, 200 more reviews. I mean, I can be talking about myself because I have a lot of reviews compared to my competition, but we're all fishing for different types of fish. We say we are. We're in the same ocean, right? You good?
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I was trying to adjust my mic, and the thing just
Yeah.
came right out.
No.
It's
Yeah.
good.
We're in the same ocean, except we're fishing for different fish, right?
Yeah,
That competitor might be fishing for the cheap customers, and he's getting a lot of it. A lot of them are happy because and he's
yeah,
happy and he's content. So but personally, you and I, we want to work a little smarter. I've got technicians I've got to keep busy.
yes, you
Do
do.
I drop my prices because I want to keep them busy? No, I don't. That's the that's the formula to go to the bottom,
That's right.
right? You want
Right.
to you want to have a hard time with your company and you want to support your company and treat them well. You know what happens? They either don't have enough work or they quit.
Yeah.
They leave.
Right.
They're not
That's right.
happy, right? They're not getting paid enough, and the morale goes down. And that's a I don't see any light out with that business model. I just don't.
No, no, there isn't, and that's the race to the bottom. Yes, we've talked about before, and let's talk about that for a second. The other side is like, because you hear these guys in our markets who have guys, and um, they got guys for working for them, and I got to keep these guys busy, and I can't afford to, lose opportunities charging too much, and here you, Mike, you've scaled your business a long time ago, like when prices were low, yet you made the adjustment, and you adjusted your prices up. You took a risk, even to the point where I told you couple years ago when I raised my prices, and you said, I'm going to do that too, Joe. And I said, wait a minute, pump the brakes. Hold on, cowboy. I said, I have nothing to lose here, Myke. If I didn't raise my prices, I would have been moving to
Because
another
you were put in an
area.
uncomfortable position. You were
Yeah,
you were super comfortable. I was super comfortable. I mean, I didn't have to raise my prices. I mean, my
right.
technicians probably would have been fine the way they are. They still would have been happy with $150 to go do a job.
Yes, right,
We're not. We're almost $50 higher than the old $150.
yeah,
And
right.
it's
And that's on
I,
the minimum end.
I everything goes the positive way when you do that, and
Yeah,
it's when you go backwards, what's the benefit? What's left, dude? Like, well,
right,
you're creating bad repeats. You know what that means? You're creating people who expect a lower cost every time.
right.
You're creating people who expect that you don't raise your prices. I don't know. It's kind of like if you already, if you want to be in that position, go work for wholesale. They'll, that's basically what you're trying to. You're bringing the wholesale thinking to a retail business, and
Well,
that's unfortunately wrong.
as far as I'm concerned, as long as those guys want to charge low because they're in fear of losing opportunities, it's honestly, I've because I'm crunching the
Yeah,
numbers now, and because I'm looking at all this stuff so granular now, I'm trying. This is all an effort. I've told you in the past, like this is all an effort to look at things by the numbers as opposed to my emotion and the fear of losing opportunities. The other side of that coin, like for you, Myke, and I started to touch on this. When you raised your prices, what happened in your shop among your team? Your team is they're fixing larger damage to cleaner results. They're excited. Big John, I talked to Big John and Tim and heck, even Mary estimating jobs. It's like your team is excited.
don't mean to interrupt you, dude. Check this out.
Go ahead.
So Tim, I sent Tim yesterday. We got a little busy. I said, Tim, I need you to go do a door ding for me. He said, all right, boss, no problem, dude. I said, listen, it's an insurance pay. Oh, the insurance is gonna pay us. I was like, no. The insurance already paid him. I said the ding is small. It's $287. It's 287. I said, yeah, because he's gonna pay me directly. I said, yeah. So he goes there. He goes, man, the guy was excited. He saw my Prius. I got a new Prius. Anyways, and he's talking to him, and Tim's just shooting the crap with him. He said he was done in 5 minutes. Right, buffing it, taking the dent out, good to go. The guy was so happy, man. So happy. And not because it was just an insurance thing. Because you're probably asking, well, I know what you guys are thinking here. Let's back this up. He's like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. They made an insurance claim, and you're only charging them 287. What happened? How come they didn't pay out of pocket? Well, the other party hit them, and I don't know that either. I don't know why they didn't pay out of pocket and just get a door. I think they thought he was just going to take it to a body shop. Anyways, the insurance, they cut him a check for about $1,000, by the way, for that door ding. Okay. Could have I
Wow.
charged way more and didn't? No. I mean, yes, I could have, but we didn't do that. Anyways, to finish my story, Tim left. The guy gave him $112 tip
Oh, that's awesome, man.
on top of that. Paid him
Yeah.
cash, 100. So he, total gross,
So
right? 387, almost $400, right? Actually, yeah, $400, dude. And
yeah. Yeah.
and Tim was happy. And so the moral of the story, it wasn't that Tim got $100. That's not what that's. It wasn't about charging the customer or getting paid for $287. The
Mm.
point was everything was right. Customer was happy. We got paid the value of our service for an insurance repair. Tim got paid and he got $100 tip.
Yeah. Win,
What
win,
kind of
win
impression?
across the
What
board.
kind of impression you think he's going to have? And I'm not talking the client, just the client, but my technician, right?
Yeah. Right.
He's absolutely happy, ecstatic, proud.
Yeah.
And now he knows what the value of his service is worth, what his time is worth to do a repair for Dent time. So
Absolutely.
that that's what I'm saying. It's a double-edged sword. It helps the client, it helps you,
Yeah.
and it builds rapport both ways.
Right.
When you charge a premium price for the value of your service. And I'm not saying overprice. I'm talking a premium price. So look,
That's
you're gonna have wins. That's a win, Joe,
that's a
right?
win.
We should
That's
be guilty for
absolutely a
that
win.
because we earned that, dude. We earned
Yeah.
30 years of experience to go do that.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then you feel guilty about it, and then you have other people who put a guilt trip on you, saying you're too fast, you should have charged lower.
Yeah.
Please, you guys have to understand. You have to be psychologists when people say things like that to you. You can't get angry. You have to understand
Yeah.
that they're not talking about you. They're not talking about how fast you did it. So it has nothing to do with any of that. What they're talking about is themselves. That
Yeah.
they have to work from a 9 to 5 job with a boss breathing over them. It doesn't matter if they went to Notre Dame or graduated from Harvard. They're still working for a boss, and they're freaking upset that you came in there and made a dent go away in 5 minutes for 200 plus bucks. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm saying you earned it. So,
That's right.
but the main thing is,
That's right.
without derailing your conversation again, Joe, sorry,
No, absolutely
is
not.
that
Please don't apologize.
Tim is ecstatic. One other
Absolutely.
example, and then we get going. So we can, because this is all what I'm talking about. Joe, I think I talked
Yeah.
to you about this, right? So this is Monday morning. John comes in, customer comes in. Tim says, "Oh, Mike, I went out there and estimated that. That thing's like, I would say it's probably close to $1,000, and it has to come to the shop." So the guy made the appointment. He came to the shop. He was serious about getting it done. John came in. I thought he was going to want to get it done right then and there, but John
Yeah.
came in, did all the circles. John's like, "Wow, man, this thing's." I was like, "Write it up, John. Listen, dude. It's not our decision to tell him if it's worth it or not. Write it up, dude." I go,
Yeah.
"There's some hard dents on there, dude. Trust me, it's going to get hard in the middle." He writes it up. Dude, it came up to 2,587 something, dude, right?
Awesome. Awesome.
Guy goes, "Let's do it. When can we set it up?" John's like, right?
Yeah.
I go, "How about Friday?" "Friday works. Come on in. I take $100 deposit to hold your reservation. And so how would you like to do it?" "Oh, I'll use my credit card." "Perfect. Let's go ahead and do that. There you go. Here's your receipt. I'll see you Friday at 8:30. "Great. Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate your business."
Congratulations, man. That is
Dude,
awesome.
when you just go in there and just write it up and do your thing, you don't have a right to think about if they're going to say yes or no. That's not your business, dude. Your business, well, it is at the end, but I'm saying it's not your business to make a decision for them,
Right. Right.
because you're acting. Isn't it funny? You role play in your head. All right, Joe, write that sucker up, dude. All right, man, I'm gonna write it up. It's your twin right here, dude. And you're writing it up, dude. And your twin's like, "Man, lower it down a little bit. He's gonna freak out if you put all that shit on there, dude." "All right,
Yeah.
I'll
Head
lower it down.
trash.
I'll lower it
Right.
down." "Oh, now you drop some of that R&I on there, man. Yeah, he ain't gonna want to pay for that. I'm trying to keep it down. What do you think it's gonna be, man?" "Shut up. I'm trying to write my invoice, dude." And you're right.
Like a
You're having a back and forth
schizophrenic.
conversation with somebody, and at the end, he's
Yeah.
like, "Don't do it, man. Don't do it." Shut
Yeah.
up, dude. Like, stop
Mhm.
bull crapping all the time, dude. Get back there, dude. Right?
That's right.
And then you
That's
show the invoice and you
Yeah.
deliver. You
Yes,
deliver.
man. Yeah. Right.
You have to forget about
Right.
this, dude, right? You deliver it,
Absolutely.
right? And so that's my take. And I didn't mean to steamroll you, but
No, please. It's
let's
look.
talk about your
I'm the
approach
one
and
who
how you
I'm
do
the
it.
one who brought it up. The success that you guys are having, and not just you, Mike, but your crew, your team. Your guys are doing better quality work than they ever have. Not that they ever weren't doing quality work, but they were able to fix larger, more complex damage to a factory spec level, to better than body shop ever could. Like, you know, they should be getting paid that well. You know, you guys should be getting those big tickets because it's worth every penny and more. I wholeheartedly believe that PDR, what we're able to produce with PDR is better than traditional body and paint repair. And
It's
that's,
fact. It's
I
fact.
think that, yeah, it is. It absolutely is. But I don't think that the majority of our industry believes that. But that's, and that's a
Mm,
different subject. In fact, as long as in my area, these guys that are charging less, because it's not it's almost daily that I talk to retail consumers who say your price point's a lot higher than the other guy's price point or the other couple of people I've called. And my reply is they should be lower. They should be less than me. Did they describe in great detail how they're going to fix that for you and what the end product is going to look like? And
I like that. They
they
should be.
well, it's kind of almost like a
Hey, I don't
like
blame them.
complimentary.
They
Yeah,
can't
well, it's
match
a
my
compliment.
quality. Yeah.
It's like a you're right. You're right. I mean, that's almost like companion to you often say, Mike, when somebody says, "Wow, that's expensive." And what's your reply?
If you don't mind me asking, compared to what, please?
Yes. Compared to what? And then if they
And
say, what do you say now if they say, "Well, compared to the other guy, my old guy used to charge X amount." Now you say he should charge that low. He doesn't do
yeah,
what I do, you know?
yeah, yeah. Well, and at that point, if he has to ask me, like, when you okay, like, again, this since this is on the subject, but when you throw the towel in with the client, because if they didn't get it by that second reply
Mhm.
and they didn't want to move forward since then, and
Mhm.
they threw another something at me, I'm like, look, dude, I'm throwing in the towel, bro. Like, not to saying it like this, but I'm like, hey, Joe, you know what? I appreciate you trying to get the lowest price, and I don't blame you, but I don't think we're the company for you. I just don't think we're the right fit. And if you're looking
Exactly.
for price, then I'm sure you're going to find whoever you can to do it fit in your budget. But at this point, I just can't work with you.
Mhm.
I just, I am saying that. I don't say it very often, but I think I'm saying it 2 times a month now,
Yes.
where
Mhm.
I let them go. I,
Yeah,
I'm just
you have to. Yeah. You
I don't
definitely
have, you're wasting my time now. You obviously are, you're not asking me how good it's going to come out or how my approach is, like normal people ask, and they want to know, oh, they just almost can't wait for you to work on their car,
yeah.
because they've seen all that
Mhm.
stuff. But somebody who's, they just,
Yeah.
they're not educated yet, right? Because they don't, they would know that, hey, this is well worth it, dude.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I'll be the first to say it when I don't think we're a good fit. If you after I've done my best to present the value of what we offer and demonstrate the value of it by showing by like we've said before, not selling, but rather presenting a diagnosis for their problem. If after all that, plus the videos, plus the website, the social proof, the reviews, if that's still not enough, if they still don't trust me, then I'm going to get out of that interaction, because the next thing I don't want, the last thing I want is somebody nitpicking my work because they're more attached to the pain of in their what they feel is a loss of money. My clients, all these people on this spreadsheet, they wanted quality. That's it. Quality of service, quality of craftsmanship. and
I
and
like to
these were
study. Go
good.
ahead, Joe.
Yeah, these were not, OCD people or with all due respect to obsessive, compulsive, disorder and stuff, but these were just normal people with a range of different dents that they wanted quality. They wanted the quality guy, not the discount guy. Go ahead. What were you going to say about studying the different
I just
people?
like I'm more paid attention to people's psychology about things. Like when they talk to me, I try
Hmm.
to like understand why they make that remark, why they want a cheaper price,
Yeah.
um why they don't get it sometimes,
Yeah.
right? And then you've got the cheapest person, and they want it as good as possible. How do they I want to know where do they get that? Where do they get that perception of, if they get it cheap, they have to have it the best. I mean, I know there's certain things that you can look in that's in all our nature, but I like to study that, right? I like to understand
Yes.
so I can stay. The only reason why, and I don't antagonize myself, I want to know how to stay away from those type of clients easier, right? And
Hmm.
we've actually found a formula. It's raise your prices, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to. If you're too low and you're getting too much work, then I mean, if you have too much work and nobody says no to you, I think you might be a little low, dude. Right?
Yeah.
If you get, but if you're working smarter, you're not slamming busy. But man, you can work half the month
Yeah.
with less customers and make just as much as you do your someone else who works twice as much, three times as much, and they have to deal with day in and out, ins and outs of good and bad clients. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm just making an assumption there, but actually, what am I saying? You did that, dude.
Yeah. I did. I
How many
did.
days did you work this month or last month?
That's what's crazy is I only worked 16 days, and so
16 days, half the
I
month,
did okay.
basically.
Yeah, basically, and I
Almost half the
work.
month because it's a
I
short month,
schedule.
28th.
Yeah, I schedule 4 days a week to work. I take Tuesdays off to hang out with my kiddos, take them to school, and bring them home, and we go get ice cream, and we do all the. I'm Mr. Mom on Tuesdays, and it gives my wife a break, but it allows me to kind of get a little perspective, But the truth is, that's the one day of work, the one day of the week that I work the hardest, because that's hard work,
Yeah, no
being
kidding.
Mr. Mom. Whereas, at this point, PDR is fun, man. And that's what this whole thing is about too, Myke. Like the whole you and I struggling or sharing our struggles and our mess ups and our embarrassing, mistakes. And it's been fun, dude. I've been enjoying it and getting granular like this, in doing the spreadsheet. I was geeking out on it, man. Cause it's helping me to really, uh, you know, kind of grasp and wrap my head around what this is all about and the importance of the price guide, assessment guide, and proper pricing, but also figuring out where these leads came from, and so I can repeat this over and over and continue. Yes, I'm serving myself here, but we really are serving other people. We
Yeah.
have to remember that. That's
Can't
what this is about, and this is a service.
couldn't like most people say, well, I can go on Mobile Tech X, I call it Mobile Tech RX and look at the look at my pie chart and get that same kind of thing. What's the difference between what you did and what Mobile Tech RX is?
Yeah. So as far as I know, like I I'm not, maybe I didn't, maybe I'm not fluent enough with Mobile Tech RX. I've been using it since its inception, and they may have added the feature of the pie chart and all that. I didn't see that, or maybe is that on the desktop, on the
I haven't
back office?
I haven't seen it either. I'm just saying I thought somebody said that they are already using something like that. So
That
I'm
would be
just kind of
great if they did, and I'll check it out after this show, after our discussion. But I didn't see anything like that. The only thing I do see is, it will show you, you can do reports on it, and it shows like a bar graph, but it's mainly a daily average that it
okay.
shows, and
That's
you
okay.
know,
That's what I meant.
and
Okay.
you
That's
can
I
do the
might be thinking
math,
about that.
and you can do the math easy. I mean, you just take your total amount, and you divide that by
Times
the
it.
number of invoices,
Yeah.
and if and then you could figure it out that way. But doing it this way on the spreadsheet allowed me to really get down to
Well, of
the
course.
nitty gritty, and also
You
analyze
put the
where they're
fields you
coming from.
needed. You put the fields you needed. Like so you got a lot of repeats in there.
I do.
Right?
Yeah.
I've got well, I got some repeats too. I have to look at my calendar right here because I might when you fill out my form, I have to know how you heard about me. Right. And then every month
Yeah.
I'll go and look at that.
Awesome.
Um,
That's
but
your
yeah, that's
CRM, your CRM
yeah,
software.
it's my cutie
Acuity?
in
Okay.
there. So you can create your own form right?
Mhm.
And then you can even have it connected to your email um, marketing
Yeah.
choice of whatever you like. And
Right.
yeah, so that's what I do. But man, it's important, Joe. I'm glad you got a lot of repeats because that's awesome to see a lot of repeats in your business because that means people respect and value your service and they keep coming back.
Yeah. Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's what they're
I
paying
agree.
for. At that point, I call them your brand customers, right? They believe in your
Yeah.
brand,
Yes.
right? They come back and keep
Mhm.
going. Oh, I'm going to keep getting some Dent Evo, right? I'm going to go see Dent Evo.
Yep.
You built a brand after that. Right now, you're building a customer base before that, right?
Yes.
So
Mhm.
that's a
Yeah.
good job,
And
man. Good.
thank you. I appreciate that. And this is not a self-congratulatory thing, me sharing this stuff. It's me sharing,
Well,
what
people,
we're talking
hold on. Let's
about
back this up.
and
This
how
is
I'm
our
solving problems.
podcast. That we were talking for ourselves, honestly. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I know.
regardless if
I
people are
know.
listening and whatever they think, you know,
Yeah.
we have to look. I just want to let you know, Joe and I talk all the time, dude. Right, and it's encouraging to one another to make sure that we let them know. Joe tells me, "Hey, Mike, maybe you shouldn't, do this." Or Joe will appreciate my advice. That's why we do this right here, so you guys can kind of see what we're talking this out right now. So,
Yeah.
pardon me, Joe. So about that.
Yeah. It's all good, dude. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Cause like just you sharing the information about you know, your Acuity software, that it forces them to tell you where they came from. Like I'm so analog, dude. I do everything on paper pretty much. So this is me going out on a limb, punching up the numbers on a spreadsheet, and uh, you know, but it helps me to make sense of this and continue pushing forward with what I'm doing because it's working with the price guide and doing things that way without emotion, without being that guy saying, "Oh, you can't get those prices where I'm at," and whining on forums and that you can't do this and you can't do that, and customers don't, pay that. And I don't want to be that guy. That's no fun. I'm too freaking old to be that guy. I want to have some control over this stuff, even if I'm not working nearly as much as these other guys are. But hey, you know what? I'm enjoying the heck out of the ride and I'm doing great work for my customers who want that kind of work. And there's nothing better than that. It's very satisfying. But going back to it, the people that you touched on, people whining about the price being too high or whatever, and we argued if that's your customer or not. I think that does vary. That's perceived value, and that varies within each person that you're ever in front of. No two customers are going to have the exact same idea of what they or needs, what they need. They all know they want their dent fixed, but to what are their needs for that, and sometimes they fit your program and sometimes they don't, or sometimes we can find some way in the middle. I think the point of what I'm trying to say is for the listeners who hear what we're saying and thinking, no, I'm not going to be able to get to that level, because we know those guys, because they talk to us, they call us, and sincerely, and we're not going to mention who they are, but they sincerely say, Myke, Joe, I can't get those kind of prices where I'm at because the competition is too low, and I wouldn't be able to get work out of it. And they're partly right, because they believe that. They
Yeah.
believe that they can't get that much. And you do have to believe in what you're doing and that it does have value. And because I think when you believe in it, you're also going to go to the level of, start communicating on a higher level. You're going to invest in yourself, and if it's like audiobooks, the way Myke and I were talking a minute ago, or learning how to, I don't want to say sell, I
I
mean,
don't like
sure,
that word either.
yeah, I don't either, but that's a rich, uh that the whole selling gurus, sales gurus or salesmanship books, um that's rich with information on how to communicate. But I think at our best, we're not selling, we're just communicating value. And I mean, it's easier for us because like we're not, like you've said it before, we're not plumbers, man. Could you imagine? Like when there's that many people doing what you do, there are a lot of Dent guys, but most of them, I believe their hands are tied to be able to do what consumers really want
That's right.
because they're stuck on price.
Right.
And go ahead.
You know what? Well, you know what they say though, Joe. They say dude, value is more expensive. Value is more expensive, dude. So if you can sell value, you will get more cost, right? So it's I just don't. I think people will get. My thing is, look, if you're in the well, I can't get that price because I'm in this kind of environment or I have this area, then what I'm trying to say, I'm not saying move out of the area. I'm saying move your boat out of the area. Go cast for change your freaking pole, man. Change your bait. Go cast somewhere different. Meaning go after the higher end customers.
Yeah.
Change the way your perception of your company, because it's a perception. By the way, Joe, it is a perception of what customers think of you. Do they think you're a low, cheap? Oh, I got an idea. Dude, some guy, I fixed his dent. I remember 5 years ago. No, yeah, 6 years ago, something like that. I go to his house. He's one of my repeats, and I raised my price, dude. And he's like, man, you raised your price, huh? And I was like, well, yeah. He goes, you know what? I'm going to give you some advice. You need to keep your prices the same because people like me, you're going to lose those loyal customers. And by the way, you should just kind of dumb down your site a little bit. It looks really expensive. And
Wow.
and I
Wow.
looked at him, dude, and I was like, all right, I didn't think anything about it. And then, like, I remember 2 years ago, I was thinking that to myself, and I was like, dude, that customer's today. I would have told them freaking. I think I would have raised my price right on the spot with them even more today, because I'm thinking, man, that dude told me two reasons, man, two good reasons I was trying to achieve. Right, I had to raise my
Mhm.
price, and I didn't raise my prices for a long time because of him, dude. Because
Yeah. You took his advice.
what he was telling me is that, listen, man, stay low so us cheap asses can keep being using you, dude. Right?
Yeah.
But if you
Hmm.
raise your prices, you're gonna lose me. But he didn't
Yeah.
say I was gonna gain the bigger ones, the bigger fish that were gonna pay me 2, 3 times more because they
Yeah.
respect my value.
Right. Right.
That's what
Yeah.
I
It
learned
was
from
it
that
was
old
convenient for
conversation.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been very convenient for him if you had stayed that low price. I used to get referrals from one of the hail guys out here, one of the hail chasers from out in, here in Southern California. And when he would go off to chase hail, most of the year, he was gracious enough to put my number a few times on his voicemail greeting, right? So when people would call him, they would say, they would hear his voicemail, and he'd say, I'm out of town chasing hail right now, but if you need service and can't wait for me to get back, call this guy. He's really good, Joe Garcia. And well, long story short, he ended up stopping putting my number on there on his voicemail. He started using a different guy. And you know why that is?
Boy.
Because he had too many people complain to him. Too many of his customers complained that this guy is way too expensive. He's crazy. And I remember having conversations with some of these people, and one guy I'll never forget. It was a prospect with a black Tahoe. He was a repeat customer of the gentleman who I mentioned who chased hail. We talked a little bit about price over the phone and based on what he was describing. And the guy instantly said, "You're way higher than the other guy." And this is one instance where I couldn't say, well, I should be. I wanted to, but I said, look, I said, if I charge the same as the other guy, then I'm going to have to go and chase hail too, because I won't be
I was
able
gonna say
because
my point about that.
I
Yep,
won't
yep.
be able to afford to pay for my mortgage and feed my family on your meager amount that you want to to pay me.
Hey,
So it looks like we're just not going to be able to work together. I said that to him, and he okay, and he just went on. I don't want those kind of customers. That's not sustainable. I'm not in the business of cheap labor. It's that simple. I do
No.
better work because of the price. So as far as I'm concerned, we're not expensive. It's just that the conventional idea of PDR is that it's cheap labor, and
What's your
a lot
time
of guys
value
want
worth?
exactly. A lot of guys want that label on them. They want to fit into that box, and that's why they dumb down their service for the masses. Well, guess what? I'm just one little guy. I can do things the way I want to, and I feel free for that. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel a great freedom
What
for that. I'm very
what do you think
thankful for that.
what do you think the value of your time is, dude? Right? I mean,
Exactly.
nobody can answer that though, by the way, if you throw that out. I was like, well, let's say, do you consider your own time valuable? Because that's going
Yeah.
to take time for you to go to a body shop. It's going to take time for you to find a part.
Yeah.
It's going to take time for you to get your car back. It's going to take time for you to go get a rental car or borrow your wife's car or someone's car while you're out without a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't really explain that anymore, Joe, because when I have to explain that, it's
You're
already
in too
not your
deep.
customer, right? It's like I'm
That's
at
right.
the part. I'm not as paid. I don't try to win people who don't do the research.
I
I made that rule to myself. I'm not going to try to convince somebody who didn't do the research. I listen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're the right fit for you right now, but I would encourage you to please do your research. I'm definitely going to keep the opportunity for us to do business, but at this point, I don't think you understand the
Yep.
value of what I have to offer
Yeah.
yet.
You don't have to be rude.
Right?
You can be polite and professional. And the thing is like you had told me about probably about a week ago that you had that conversation with a prospect who started going that route with you, and you stopped him in his tracks and you let him know exactly what you just told me. I'm not sure that we're the right fit, and you ended
Yeah.
up converting that guy. That right there, just the energy and the timing. I don't know if you
It
did it through
wasn't a
text.
dick though either. I wasn't a dick, dude.
No, you were
I was
professional.
just professional and firm, and I think it's because when you let go of the I don't,
Yeah,
you let go of the I wonder what he's going to think if I say this.
yeah. Do not.
You're just
Yeah,
protecting the value and the reputation of what your time is worth and the I
yeah,
just it's professionally just making them respect that you're running a professional business. That's it. I mean, you're
yeah.
running a real business.
That's right.
That's why I have deposits too as well.
Yeah,
And I do
yeah.
have to give credit to somebody who turned me on to this over a year ago, and that was Danny Espinal, right?
Yes. Yep. That's
If
another
he's
guy
listening to
who
this,
really believes in what he does, in his
yeah,
craft and his service and the value of PDR,
yeah,
man. That
yeah,
guy, we should have him back on here soon,
yeah.
actually.
I remember calling him, dude. And I'm like, "What's up, Danny? Yo, what's up? What's up, Toledo? Hey, you charge? Hey, you got a shop? You charge people to book? What do you mean? Like my man. Like I charge $100 every time someone books.
Yeah,
Because my time's valuable. I have people showing up and they don't show up. I'm like, man,
yeah,
that I go, really? People are paying it? Without a doubt, man. Hey, my wife and my daughter, they go get nails done. They got to put a deposit down. They go do their hair. They got to put deposit down. What's
yes,
up with us? How come we can't do it? And I was like, okay. He's all, how many no shows you have? And I was like, Danny, I'm not going to tell you, but it's a lot, dude. So, I mean, yeah, people say they're going to show up for their appointment and they don't do it. So I did it. Right. And what I
yeah,
found out, Danny, he didn't tell me this, but I mean, but what I found out about when people put a deposit down, which we know why they should put a deposit down, because you're going to lock them in. But why are you locking them in? The reason why is because as soon as they put that $100 down, they stop looking. They stop calling other people. They stop
that's right.
thinking about calling someone else, dude, or getting it done somewhere else. They're locked in. So like, well, he's got my $100, so that's where I'm going.
Yep,
It
that's
shuts
right.
it down, dude. Shuts
That's right.
everything down. Because
Yeah,
if you don't do that client right away and you have them scheduled out, there's
yeah,
a 50% chance they're going to show up, dude.
yes, that's right. That's right. And I wanted I want to say, I want to kind of disclose something here. I haven't implemented that yet. And you know why? Because I get head trash. I
I
too
do
get
too.
head trash.
I do
And
too.
I want the listeners to know that, because I know there's a lot of people that listen to this and they think, no, I can't do that. And I used to say the same thing, you know? And as far as like using the price guide, for example, like I, I remember years ago thinking, man, I wonder if I'll ever achieve the level of being able to price every single dent that comes my way with the price guide. That was that inconceivable to me, Myke. And here I'm doing that. I'm doing that now. You know, arguably some of the repeat jobs invoices that you see on there, the repeat customers
Yeah.
on my little spreadsheet here, a handful of them were used car, were dealership work, right? In fact, I think it was four of them, and those four, three of them were used car, and one was a new car. You know,
Yeah.
and so, but my point being is that the three that were used cars were the only cars, only jobs that I did there that were not using a price guide, had full retail. I also, to in the spirit of confessing head trash, I still suffer from head trash, even though I've been much more assertive with the pricing guide. I have to tell you, and I shared this with you last week, I undercharged a really bad damage. I used as many factors as I thought I could, but I forgot. It didn't dawn on me, long story short, that I may have to use the power PDR box on the thing. It was really stretched. And that's a whole nother subject for
I would have done the same thing.
episode.
I would not have probably written it up right either, because when you showed me the picture, I didn't even oil can didn't even come to my mind, dude, on that repair.
Well, it did, and I'm glad I'm not alone in that, Myke. But thanks for. I know you're just showing me support here,
No, did you
emotional
did
support.
you post that yet?
No, not
Like the
yet, but and it
okay.
came out great, by the way. But here's the deal. My point with that's another subject for another time, and I think that with
Oh yeah, we
larger
need a breakdown.
repairs,
Yeah.
what's that?
We need a breakdown on that, dude.
Yeah, well, with the larger, really, I mean, we're talking like collision. This was minor collision repair on a quarter panel, and I think I could have probably just gone full conventional on that and gotten what I was asking. But instead, I was thinking head trash, and me bringing this up is because I want to share with the listeners that, hey, I still get head trash too, but now paying close attention to this stuff and using the price guide. I think that's the simplest thing for those who don't want to get granular about this stuff and have to punch up numbers. It's not as hard as, especially once I made the spreadsheet and the put in all the formulas, but it's just as simple as typing in the number of each invoice. That's it. But um, going back to it, I think just using the price guide like it's the book, and don't deflect. Don't lower the price because you think that's going to be too much. Start out with the high and heavy estimate, like Paul says. He calls it the high and heavy robust estimate, and that's your basis. Then you present it to them, and it's if you acclimated them to the price initially, and you're somewhere, even if you're a little bit above it, they just watched you assess it for all it was, and you're doing a thorough inspection of this dent. And that's why he says slow it down. And you show them that price. Let them decide if it's too much. And if it's too much, you can come to an agreement on what they want to leave out. Okay, maybe this 10 inches of area, they're only bothered by the 7 or 8 inches of it, and you can leave the rest of it alone.
Yeah.
Just depending. But again, asking questions and knowing what their needs are is going to uh, tell you which way to go.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. That's what happened today. Right? That's what happened today. And granted, we're gonna kick ass. We're gonna do a great job on this. This ain't no. And I forgot to mention the $2,500 repair isn't no cakewalk. We got some stretched
You
dents,
still got to
creases.
fix it. Yeah, you still got to
We've got
fix that.
some nasty stuff on there. So you know, so if you're wondering what it is, it's a lot of damage around the vehicle.
Yes.
Um, just hard dents, not giant stuff, but just hard, deep, stretched stuff. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Joe,
I'd
man,
like to
that's
see.
freaking.
I want to see it, man.
What I was gonna say to you, I think I was gonna mention something about. Oh, can we want to see Paul Corden's video?
Yeah. Before we do that, I just want to say the main thing that we're talking about average PDR ticket. Um, my average ticket for the month of February was $1,173.59, and I'm really proud of that number because that's the highest ticket average I personally have, and I want to keep it at or above that. So that's my challenge.
Shit, that's a freaking great friggin'. So, do you think? Well, I already told you this, dude. I'm not gonna even say that. Now I'm gonna take my own question back. I think it ain't by accident. That's for sure, Joe.
That's right.
It ain't by accident. I was telling you, I think today, I was like, what we're doing is I feel like we're when you can remember yourself doing a dent and I'm referring to people who pretty much learned on their own or didn't have much guidance, but when you did get that first dent out, you, I remember the feeling going, well, how in the hell did I do that, dude? Because I didn't have guidance, I didn't have any of that,
Yeah,
and
you were pretty much self trained, dude.
it was scary trying to like think about, okay, I'm gonna go to the next job, but I don't know how I did it. But
Yeah,
when you finally become and you get better and you figure out the whys and the hows and all
yeah.
this, then you get consistent. Do you think you're going through that same kind of stage right now where you figured out you got a good ticket, you did everything right, so you got that job, and then you start getting more and more? Is it because you figured out a little formula for yourself, or how? Obviously it's had to. What is it? If it's not the formula, what is it then?
No, you're right. That's it. What I hear is you paralleling our our communications and our estimating and assessing to the early days of you learning how to do PDR, right? Is
Yeah,
that what you're doing?
yeah,
So yeah, I feel like I'm learning how to fly this machine, at a really high performance level. It feels great. I'm excited. I'm looking at it less emotionally. I'm looking at it more by binary, like by the numbers. We're breaking it down, and that's a step to me. That's a step in the right direction of making this a repeatable process. Replicating what we're doing. Do I anticipate that I'll do this in March? I had some pretty big numbers on some of those. I did one in one day, dude. It was like a 6 hour repair because I had to rush through it. It was an insurance pay, and it was $3,978, dude. And I put it up on Paul's group. I was really proud. And that was doing my due diligence, of everything. That was everything came together. All this effort, all these conversations that I've had with Mike Toledo and his awesome guests, and me putting it all to work, and it all materialized, and that's, will I do another one of those this month? Hey, you know what? The possibility's there. Is it
I
probable?
actually think you have way better chance doing it not just this next month, but the month after, the month after. I mean, we're getting into the busy season here, dude. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, as soon as
Yeah.
it thaws out here in Southern California, I mean, as soon as that sun comes out, guns out, freaking, we're gonna be freaking more busier. People are gonna start driving more, getting more wrecks. I mean, to answer your question, I'm being super optimistic. Of course you are, Joe. Of course. Another thing you gotta keep in mind too. You're aware now. You're consciously aware. Your head's
Exactly.
not in the sand anymore. Your head's not, you're not the day by day guy, dent guy.
Yeah.
and happy
Right.
that you just made $500 and you
And what,
survived
and
for the
not
day.
knowing where it came from. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I've
yeah,
been that guy. I've
and
been
then
that
go
guy,
home and
even
not think
recently.
about it and not work on your business and not
Yeah.
do pay attention to things, not
Yeah.
writing this and doing this and creating the videos, and you're not that guy that just comes home and just cracks open a beer and freaking wishes for the best tomorrow. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
that's
Oh, dude, I've been that guy for way too long, man. I survived the recession, the Great Recession that way, wondering, what the heck am I going to do? And I don't want to live that way anymore, Mike. I want, like I said, I want some semblance of control over this, and I want to continue to do it this way. I want to continue to do this kind of work, and I love the possibilities that come out of it. You touched on it earlier about being so present with these people now because we're on another level with these price, dealing with these kind of people who want this kind level of work. There's also a certain amount of presence that you have to have available. And what happens is, it develops these relationships, a network with people who also have other talents and,
yep.
can provide services for us, outside of PDR. And we're making all kinds of really great contacts and great conversations and even friendships with some of these customers because they value what we do, what we're
Yep.
offering. There's a lot to be said about that.
It just gets exciting. I mean, there's so much more work to do in a good positive way.
Yeah.
I'm loving the 30-second, 1 minute reels. I feel like we can get it condenses it. It forces us to have a better message with
Yep.
our companies
Yeah.
in a concise, professional, engaging, and exciting way. I mean,
Oh yeah.
again, if you can have those things put in your video and have that done, um, I don't think there's any excuse for you to keep continuing to create engaging, informative, and educational videos, right? So
Yeah.
to help that client understand, to help them choose that you're the best choice for them, right? And
Right.
again, I said video is you're the star, you're the producer, you're the director, you're the editor. Why
Yep.
can't you control the perception of people with your
Yeah.
videos,
It's your own,
right?
your own little
You're doing
universe.
it, I'm doing it. We're all doing it, man. Man, I have a hard time going like this. Like my glasses, look, I got new glasses. I think I told
Oh,
you,
you new
right?
glasses.
Yeah, these
Yeah.
are my new glasses,
Flip
man.
your bill, man.
These are my new glasses, dude. I can't see you. You're blurry. Man. Anyways, that's what I look like without glasses. Are you very
Man, I don't
handsome
even
too?
know who that
Oh
guy is.
man, I know, man. um, yeah, but what happens is like I can see far this way, and if I look down here, I'm gonna like see the mid range, and then if I go like this, I can see the detail, dude. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'm looking up
Oh,
like this because I can
it's
see better.
transition lenses, huh?
Yeah, I guess they call them transitions. Yeah, and the other ones, what's the one that gets dark?
Yeah. Gosh, what are those? Most might be transition lenses.
Those are
My
yeah.
my daughter
Anyways,
has
it doesn't
those.
matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was. It took me a little bit to get used to them, dude. So
Okay.
yeah,
So no
I got three
bifocals for you?
lenses in one, basically. That's it.
Trifocals.
Yeah. So,
You're
anyways,
old.
dude, I can't believe it, bro. Hey, I'm enjoying the journey though, dude.
Yeah, me
I'm
too, man.
enjoying the. I think PDR keeps you young as hell, man.
Yeah, man.
You're out in nature. You're doing
Mhm.
dents. Never the days the same, dude. Right? I
Yeah.
remember those days. I don't do mobile hardly ever at all, but
Yeah. I don't
I do
blame you.
remember. I don't think I've done a full day of mobile. Uh, I don't know, 7 years, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I'm still out there, man. I do see a shop in my future, but for now, this is how I roll, and I won't
dude, you
make any
roll awesome, dude.
excuses. Thank you,
Your
man.
your
Thank you.
truck's
It's
like the
an
fire truck, dude. It's always clean, dude. Like
uh,
always clean, dude.
that's only
So.
when I bring it down to dent time because I don't want to give a bad example or
Get
anything.
out of
But
here.
no, man,
Um,
it's a challenge, dude. It's fun. It's a lot of fun doing it this way, and what I feel like I'm doing is I'm really, really building the framework of my business, and I know that once I get to a certain point, it's they're going to follow me in a shop or we can continue mobile or whatever I'm going to do, whatever I want to do. And that feels awesome.
Can you hear me?
And,
You get turn
yeah, I
my
can hear you.
speaker on.
Yeah.
Let me. You want to play Paul's video real quick, or what?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Or should we wait till next time?
No, let's play it, man. But I will say this, Myke, real quick about mine, again, for the listeners, that's not without the information I provided is not without its fair share of due diligence and efforts. Like I said, I can't overemphasize the need to communicate well and think win-win. Um, like the 7 habits of highly effective people. The book, I highly recommend it. He talks about think win-win. You don't have to take that deal if it's lose win. So many of us were in the mindset of we have to lose in order to make this person happy, and that's just not true. The other thing is that he says in there is, seek first to understand, and then to be understood. You know, and that's important here. That's why we got to ask questions. We got to find out what these people are looking for, and be courageous enough to tell them when they're not a good fit.
Like, is it only the PDR business? Or this is my first time I've ever thinking as you're talking, Joe, and I'm thinking, do plumbers and other businesses, do they talk like, do they feel that they are getting demoralized in the value of their service as much as PDR does? Do you feel like we're in like our only boat, or what other companies are kind of thinking that way?
I don't know. I can't say, dude, but I can tell you this though. I think it's two things. I think it's the low barrier to entry that it doesn't initially cost much to get a basic set of tools and to go and tell people that you're a professional dent remover. Okay. So there's that. And with that mindset, people are going to come in, ready to just do business for whatever the bottom rate is. Right. But the other side of it is what you talked about earlier in our conversation, Myke, was when you said, you know, back in the day, we were only fixing dents that were up to maybe a silver dollar or maybe a size of an orange, right? And so back then, we would use the terminology or the phrasing that, hey, we're a fraction of the cost of body shop. And hey, it was true, right?
Yep.
And I guess there were some guys fixing big stuff back then, but um, most of us weren't capable of fixing large dents or large damage like that, let alone to a really high factory spec level. So we're transitioning into a new era where it makes sense. Craftsmanship and a handcrafted work that does take time, and it on the bigger scale of things, if it takes you 6 to 8 to 10 hours or even more, that's still a lot less time than the body shop is going to do it, right? So in a bigger scheme of things, that's pretty quick for a repair. But if it's something bigger, it can take that long. But um, I guess the point I was trying to make, though, is that we are transitioning into a new era. Technology and what we're able to fix, it just has a higher sense of urgency from consumers. And on top of that, we are in the age of transparency, where we like you said, we can put all this on our phone and broadcast it to the world. Why not?
Yep. I'm just glad that I think that I pretty much see the newcomers. They're they're understanding the value of their service much better
You're right.
than we did. But it was the wrong message back then, dude. And it wasn't actually. Let me rephrase that. The message was perfect for that error, for that one window, that five
Yeah.
years, 10
Yeah.
year window at the most. But what
Yeah.
happens is that again, it's as the technician evolves to a better and better technician over the decade and decades. What happened? What they did is they left the value at their feet, and they never really bought their pants back up, dude. To that, you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
left it down,
Ah. It's a good point.
to open up opportunity for the time being, but never was able to raise your pricing to the
Yeah.
level of your value that you're offering. So, and now we're playing catch up, and it's not that you can't do it now. That's obviously that's Paul's proven it many times. A lot of people in his his group, you,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's the condition that you're thinking is been hit so long, right? It's
Yeah.
like the same thing like when you if you do a lot of dealerships wholesale for years, and it's like it's almost like getting out of prison. You don't know how to react in society. You don't know
Yeah.
how to talk to a client
Right.
who's going to pay 3 times more because they care. It's their car. They want it better than 80%. um so
That's right.
that's the thing. The older techs who've been in it for a long time, that's their
Mhm.
dilemma. I know it is. That's what my dilemma was. um
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I've been
but
there.
the, but the message is different now, right? You got to
Yeah.
change your message. If you can't play that tune anymore, you just got to change your message in
Yeah.
all aspects of your social media, your website, your attitude. um
Yeah.
and then I think you'll see change for the better. At least that's,
Yeah.
and I'm just speaking out of my own experience about how I went through all that and
Yeah.
evolved and got better and fell down on my face and did
That's right.
played the Groupon thing, and did all this other stuff, dude. I actually
Great
never
group.
did Groupon. I saw like people crash and burn from there. I mean, I seen reputations get ruined overnight because they dropped their pants on the cost. They had so many people coming from Groupon that they had ignored their real good customers, and they got nothing but bad reviews anyways from the Groupon turnout, dude. So
Yeah.
what a nightmare that was. That you talk about a recipe for disaster. That's if you go ahead and
Yes.
sign up for Groupon if that's the way you want to ruin your company quick.
Yeah. Dude, that I didn't think about that because I'm on the other side of the spectrum. I do now advertise, but for a long time I didn't. And the advertising that I do is just free marketing on my website and social media. And I'm so blunt with the pricing that, I have the opposite. I don't, rather than having people, lining up like I'm selling hotcakes, it's the opposite. Sometimes the other side of this, and I'm being very honest here, the other side of this is that I've also had some pretty slow months, where I didn't have much leads going in. But I really know that a lot of that had to do with not having enough exposure out there because I know that, there's enough people out there who do want quality, and so I'm going to present them, okay, here's the all bells and whistles option for you. If you're not looking for quality, then I, you probably don't need me. And I think that energy and the timing, like you said, it
Well,
goes a long
I
way.
think, yep, and I agree. I think the more you be consistent at your business, you
Yeah,
won't have to pull that card out
yeah,
as often. Okay, I'm not saying
yeah.
you never will, you know,
Right.
but I strongly believe your videos and what you put on your site and what you put on your social media intertwines with everything beyond the reviews, right?
It does. It does.
It's like these people are they're like detectives. They do their homework, they make sure everything's consistent, matches up, it makes sense, and then they call you and use you, right?
Yeah.
You got to make more sense than your competitor. That's the name
Right.
of the game.
Yeah. You really do. But here's the other thing, Mike. For the listeners who don't have all that going for them, all that marketing and everything, and the videos that I didn't realize my freaking microphone slipped out of the way. Um, for the listeners who don't have all that support system, what they need to do though, because here's something that I also changed for the month of February that more than I ever did. I did mention that I was more assertive. I used the pricing guide more assertive than I ever have. And that's what my mistake was like last year and the year before is that I was going in being conservative with my estimates. And I was in a sense negotiating with myself. And I was the one who lost out. In many situations, I believe I could have gotten more for my repair just fine and not lost the opportunity. And in some cases, I think that I may have lost the opportunity by making concessions and undermining my own ability to
Okay.
really demonstrate value
What is concessions? Because some people might not know exactly what that means. What do you mean?
by giving into discounts.
You
Somebody
touching
asked,
your mic, Joe?
yeah, can you hear me
Because it's
now?
rumbling. It's rumbling.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry. So what
Is
were
it
you
good?
saying?
So what I mean by concessions is giving in right away to discounts or even offering them on my own.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would do that. Oh, well, you're a repeat customer. I'm going to give you a
Negotiate
discount.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
dude.
that undermines your whole program. You're it um there's a saying, charge like a professional. Charge me like a professional. Your customers are coming to you because they want it done professionally. They're not coming to you for a discount. If they're coming to you for a discount, they have a lot of other choices, you know? And
Your
we're going to talk
brand
about,
failed. I'm sorry, dude.
yeah,
Your branding is failing.
that's right.
I did have a customer today ask me for a discount because he says he's a repeat. I said, okay, long as you are a repeat, yes, I get that. I'll help you out. I gave him 5%, not 10%, not 15%. That's a lot of money, man. Honestly, to be honest
Yeah.
with you, if I give him a big discount, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do, Joe? He's gonna keep expecting a big discount the next time and the next time.
You're setting
You
the
know,
precedent for the next time, but you're also setting the precedent for the job there
that's
because
right. That's
he's
right.
going to realize, oh, well, that price guide that he's holding in his hand doesn't mean shit because, obviously he's he's backpedaling now on the
That's
price
right.
because he's
They
eager to get my
undermine
business.
they're undermining the value. They're not going to you can bust out that price guide all you want, dude. Next time, and
Yeah.
he ain't gonna listen or she.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, whatever you come up with, I want 15% off, dude, or I want whatever
Yeah.
big discount you gave me last time. See this, but this person knows, okay, he might get 5% discount. I don't mind that, dude. You're repeat military, whatever. I don't offer that, you guys, ladies and gentlemen. I don't offer it. I got to show you. I have actually an old business card of my bumper time division and my dent time division, right? You flipped it, it's bumper time on one side, flip it, it's dent time the other way. Okay. And the reason why you're asking, well, why do you have two different companies? Why isn't it just under one company like Dent Time? Well, I had a business partner in the bumper time division. So we had to create a separate business entity, the whole 9 yards. So that's why you see two different names. I bought them out. Mary and I bought them out like a year and a half ago or so, maybe 2 years ago. And we just kept it. Um, so down the line, if we do sell the business bumper time, we can do that. But sorry to go off track, dude.
It's okay.
So what was I saying about what
So
was the
you're
topic, dude?
I think you were
Huh?
about to tell me about a discount that you were thinking about implementing. And a card, like
Oh,
an old.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what happened is that I looked at the card, dude. It was $25 off any bumper repair.
Yeah.
The other side was $15 off any dent repair. I
Yeah.
was giving away prices, dude, before I even met the person, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. We had no idea. We had no idea. And I think that's like you and I, dude, like we're talking on these things and we're having this deep discussion now, and we've done it so many times on the podcast. And I wonder sometimes when people listen, like, gosh, man, because I listen to myself sometimes, Myke, and I have to say something, dude. I have to listen and fast forward because I cringe at how I'll go around and around and around and around. And I'm like, Joe, just shut up already, man. But I'm thinking out loud and
Yeah.
you're thinking out loud. And we're babies, man. We're growing. All those years of doing this dumb business, like doing
Dude, do you
business
feel
in
like
a dumb
kicking
way.
yourself in the ass, dude? I feel like kicking myself
Dude,
in the ass, dude. Like I just
I feel
told
like
you
we're
something. I was looking
healing.
at the card this tonight. I was like, how did this card get in here? What the hell?
Yeah, yeah. No, I
This
know.
undermines everything I've been saying, dude. Like, and I've been
Yeah,
doing this thing wrong. I remember I had this conversation with you, and my stepdad, he was a great tech, a freaking great tech, dude. And he was an Italian guy. He always had some money in his pocket like this all the time, dude. Big stacks. And I could always wonder, like, how does he always have so much money? All he does is he's an entertainer at night and he does dents, dude. Right. And what I was sharing with you, Joe, is that Dan, if he would have just gave me 5% of his knowledge on how the value of money works, he got it. He just never shared it. He didn't
he
share it
probably
like the way
couldn't
you and I.
articulate it, man.
He was not, he just wasn't, that's the only thing I didn't learn from him, but he always had this, he always understood like how to make more money and
Yeah.
not to give away money. He never gave discounts. I never seen him give discounts. He'd be so straightforward. I told you, he was like Andrew Dice Clay and Joe Pesci's brother put together, dude. Right? Oh,
Wow.
hey, how about 150? Well, no, he didn't even say how about. He just said, yeah, 150. Right? But
Where was he from, dude? Was he from the East Coast?
Youngstown, Ohio. He's Italian,
Okay.
and so, but, but you and I are saying that, dude. If we had that knowledge enough, who just that one person that sat down and said, "Look, son, let me show you what's going to happen, dude. You're going to make a shitload of money in PDR,
Yeah.
and you can probably make a shitload of more money in PDR if you know how the value of your service works, along with the value of handling money and understanding how to invest yourself, not
Yeah.
just your thinking, but this is how
Yeah.
you're going to get there,
Right.
right? If someone could just have a talk with you just one time and show you, let me show you what a body shop costs. Let me show you what your cost. You have a better repair. This panel, no matter what, even if you're doing door dings, it doesn't matter. That panel's still going to be $500.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Right.
just those little things, I probably would have been 15 years ahead, dude, at
Yeah.
least.
Oh, dude. Yeah. You're telling me, dude. I was the guy who thought you had to suffer for your art, and I was an idiot because I thought that money was bad somehow, like I knew I needed it to earn a living, right? I even liked the idea of having my own little entrepreneurial business, but that's where it kind of got lost on me. I think something happened where I thought I had to be a freaking, like, I, I had to suffer somehow. And
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
that. I did
yeah,
precisely that with working with,
yeah.
the wrong clientele for so many years. But I lost hope too, because I lost hope thinking that this is the only option, because I would try and do retails, and I've said it here many times on the show before, in the previous shows, but like I remember cracking paint on this white Tahoe, man, it was a retail, and I was really getting tired of the dealership business, and I wanted to go into retail. And I had this egg-shaped dent on the door. Nothing bad, but it's a little bit of a crease to it. It was white. And I got in there, and I thought, man, this has a potential to crack. So I'm just going to gently just move it real slow. I wasn't using heat yet. I didn't know about that. And I remember just pushing it a little bit, and then I heard it snap, pop, and like snap, and a big splinter, like two splinters right through the
Yeah.
center of this egg shaped dent. And I remember just wanting to just quit right there. I remember thinking, this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work. It's not possible to do this retail. How much head trash is that, right? I just didn't have the right tools, literally and mentally. I didn't have the right roadmap, the right direction. Like you said, your stepdad, he introduced you to PDR, but he didn't teach you. And it's the same way with the guys I learned from. I learned watching the assistant to Rick. And Rick showed me a little bit. He introduced it to me, which I was grateful for. But I saw his guy Myke doing a lot of stuff. But even still, we weren't really trained, man. We trained ourselves. And this is not a crying the blues thing. It's just that we're
I
paralleling.
enjoy it.
Yeah,
I'm super grateful.
I am too, man. I am too, and I'm grateful for this conversation and our friendship, Myke, because we, like I said, we think out loud on here, and I'll talk in circles until the cows come home. But I'm figuring this stuff out, you know.
So are the other people. I mean, we're here
I
for
hope
the
so.
We're doing this for our good, for our own selves, and then the people who are listening, you know, they can take it for a grain of salt, man. They can just, you know, take some of the advice, all advice, none of the advice. Yeah, it's up to you. You know, up to you what you guys want to do. You're just listening to our thoughts, our conversations that we're going back and forth on.
That's true.
What you want to end this? Oh, we're gonna show Paul's video. People are like, "Hey man, what happened to Paul's video, man?" And
I know. Let's show the video. It's pretty awesome.
Dents and Dordings got you down? Every day, vehicle owners are destroying the trade-in values of their cars by not bringing them to Dent Shop. Dent Shop is not a traditional body shop. This is what Dent Shop doesn't do. Overpriced repairs, bad Carfax, and mismatched paint. But what if you took your car to Dent Shop? At Dent Shop, painless is paintless. Our skilled technicians have years of dent removal experience, working to repair your vehicle without all of the unnecessary grinding, sanding, and painting that takes place at a traditional body shop. That's the Dent Shop difference.
Wow, check that out, huh, dude?
That was awesome, man. It's ready for prime time, man. That's something I could totally see that.
How long was that video? I didn't even pay attention.
Oh, I don't know.
I
wasn't even
at least a minute, right? I'm gonna think at least a minute.
Maybe less. I was engaged the whole way. I never lost interest in.
There's a lot of parts in there, though. There's a lot of parts, dude. Like a lot of setups, like this part, that, you know, the beginning. They're taking you on a journey a little bit right there.
Super professional.
I analyze a lot of things, dude. So
I mean, it looks like you'd see it on primetime television.
It was a commercial for Super Bowl, dude. Like, yeah, I'm surprised they didn't put their 10 million in. So,
well, what I know, shoot, hey man, anything's possible these days,
good job,
bro.
Tim and Paul. Good job on your video.
Heck yeah.
Listen, we'll continue this conversation in the next one, Joe. This is a good one. I think I'm gonna just put this as an audio file, and then we'll put the video up on Facebook and whatnot. So we're gonna put our commercials in here. So, all right. I'll talk to you later, Joe. We'll see you guys on the next one. And thank you guys for listening, man. Take care.
Thank you, guys.